Everywhere you look, there are trucks and SUVs. In 2021, new pickup trucks outsold new cars 3-1. But there is a big issue that's been getting even bigger. Trucks and SUVs are larger and heavier, and people are dying.
My second oldest son called me early in the morning, and he said, Dad, Wes got hit by a car, And my first reaction was, where is he? How's he doing? He said, no, Dad, he's dead.
Wesley Stamp's son, Wesley Jr, was killed in the early morning hours on Woodward Avenue in 2020 when a driver behind the wheel of a Chevy Traverse hit him before driving off.
I think about his laugh. I think about his conversations to me that we would have, and I was always in the father mode.
When police tracked down the driver, he was cleaning blood off his SUV and told officers he thought he'd hit a deer, claiming he never saw Wesley. He went to jail for 90 days, and Wesley's story became one of the tens of thousands just like it across the country each year. Only memories left for grieving families.
It's times when it comes out of nowhere, and it's that day, This will be one of them days.
According to the Governor's Highway Safety Association, in 2020, pedestrian deaths hit their highest level since 1989, rising to more than 6,500 people killed.
There's increasing numbers when we look at which vehicles are involved in pedestrian fatalities. A larger share of them now are SUVs and pickups.
Angie Schmidt is the founder of 3 Miles Per Hour Planning and Consulting and has been focusing on making streets safer for pedestrians in cities across the country for a decade.
I think that there's a few different factors that play into that, but the biggest one, the one we can point to most clearly, is that cars have gotten bigger.
Take a look at this. The M4 Sherman tank, one of the tanks the Allies used to win World War II, comes in at around 19 feet long and 8 feet wide. This Ford F-150, the 4-door XLT crew cab, is the most popular trim and comes in around 20 feet long and nearly 7 feet wide with the mirrors. And that's not even the largest model, which means trucks on the road can take up more space in the next lane than driving next to a tank. Since 2000, Consumer Reports says the overall size of pickup trucks has gone up 11%. The hood height of some of the most popular trucks on the roads, like today's Ford F-250, the Chevy Silverado, and Ram 1500, all have hood heights of 55 inches. We went to lots to measure ourselves. At that height, they're taller than the average 8-year-old and tall enough to hit the average person in the chest, ribs, and abdomen. And all that extra size also means it's harder to see things in front of or behind the trucks when you're behind the wheel. Consumer Reports finding some trucks have front end blind spots that can be nearly 15 feet and 50 feet long behind it. A new study from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety finding pedestrians were 89% more likely to die in a right turn crash against a truck than against a car.
For whatever reason, there's been this enormous shift in the auto industry from designs that were more, I think in the 90s, more pro-social, and now are very antisocial.
It's also about the weight. These lines from the EPA show the increase in weight for trucks and SUVs in the last 10 years. Trucks today averaging around 5,200 pounds. That's a jump of more than a half ton since 2000. And things get even heavier as electric vehicles look to become our new normal. On average, electric vehicles are 10% heavier than gas-powered cars. For instance, the new electric Hummer weighs in at a staggering 9,100 pounds, or more than 4.5 tons, and all that weight can have deadly consequences. Researchers have found that for every 1,000 pounds a car puts on, a pedestrian is nearly 50% more likely to die if they're hit. And the more a truck weighs, the longer it will take to stop. Researchers have also found nearly none of this is all that necessary.
It's mainly a style thing in a lot of cases. A lot of pickup truck drivers, there are some pickup truck drivers that obviously are using them for hauling, for small businesses, but a majority don't use them to haul anything significant in a year.
Automakers selling a lifestyle, making money, all while evidence shows and experts say lives are being lost when they might not have to be. We went to automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, and asked for interviews with their CEOs to talk about why they're putting profits ahead of people. None of them agreed to talk. In a statement, Ford saying safety is a top priority. Pedestrian safety is a complex issue requiring a holistic approach. Automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection is standard across 96% of our light-duty car, truck, and SUV lineup. In a statement, General Motors telling us, at GM, customer safety is a priority, regardless of the type of propulsion or mass of the vehicle. GM deploys an extensive list of advanced safety technology features that have been shown to reduce rear-end striking, pedestrian, lane departure, lane change, and backing crashes. In a statement of its own, Stellantis, which owns Ram, saying, "We remind our customers that motor vehicle operation requires proper care and attention," a message that is codified in traffic law. Every Stellantis brand vehicle sold in the U.S. meets or exceeds all applicable safety standards. But experts like Schmidt say those reminders may not be enough.
Drivers of large SUVs and pickups were being told your vehicle presents specific risks and you need to drive more carefully. And they were, that the problem would not be as bad as it is. Instead, we see people driving very, very heavy vehicles, almost like they're race cars.
There have been pushes to force automakers to take responsibility for the size of their trucks. In Europe and Japan, they're required to have pedestrians in mind when they design, which means automakers already know how to make those trucks. They just aren't making them here.
Specifically, a lot of the American automakers were against the idea of doing 5-star vehicle safety ratings for pedestrian safety. And I think that's because they're so concentrated, obviously, in SUVs and pickups now, that they thought it would be bad for business.
A business that's shifting in a potentially more dangerous direction. The 2022 bipartisan infrastructure bill for the first time is going to make automakers reassess their 5-star safety ratings when it comes to pedestrians. But the details of that are still being worked out. In Detroit, Grant Herms, Local 4.